Heartwarming secret revealed, she vanished, leaving behind an amazing life-changing legacy. Emily Carter was the heart of Maplewood. Known for her warm smile and an infectious laugh, she spent her days in the local diner, serving up more than just breakfast. Every cup of coffee she poured was accompanied by a listening ear, every plate she served infused with an understanding of her customers' lives. But nothing compared to the joy she found in her son Noah's big brown eyes. He was the light of her life. Balancing her low-paying waitress job with the needs of a bright-eyed 10-year-old wasn't easy, but Emily thrived on the challenge. It wasn't about money, it was about love. Then one sunny afternoon, the kind of day where kids' laughter danced in the air, everything changed. Emily disappeared without a trace, leaving the town gripped in confusion and fear. It was as if the sun had lost its glow. Noah, bewildered and with a heart heavy with worry, could not grasp who would take care of him if his mother didn't return. The tightness in his chest felt unbearable. Down at the high school football field, whispers filled the air, her friends exchanging worried glances and speculative comments. Some wondered if she had chosen to leave, could she have tired of their life? Others were quick to defend her sacrificial spirit, insisting that this couldn't be the Emily they knew. All around, the community began to split, their collective love for her morphing into confused distrust. Was she the selfless angel, or did she hide a darker story? It was during these frantic discussions that the community began piecing together the secret life Emily led. Unbeknownst to many, she had been teaching local kids how to craft, subtly instilling life lessons between stitching and glue. But that's not all. Beneath it all, she was also supporting veterans, all while keeping her head down, out of the spotlight. Imagine the shock when these revelations painted a different picture. Was she truly altruistic, or was there a hidden motive behind her acts? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the search for Emily grew frantic, hope flickered when a mysterious phone call came through. A stranger claimed to know where she might be. That feeling, half apprehension, half excitement, tangled in Noah's chest. Should he cling to his mother's legacy of love, or should he venture out for something more? Would he discover a path of his own as he teetered on the edge of uncertainty? Noah's heart raced as he faced this crossroads, his mind consumed with questions. With every thread of hope, he began to see pieces of Emily's hidden life, igniting a fire within him to uncover the truth. Could he honor her memory while still carving out his own destiny? As each moment passed, the community's chatter filled with speculation, and Noah braced himself for what lay ahead. Where would this winding road lead, and what would it mean for him and his family's legacy? Noah sat on the edge of his bed, clutching the phone tightly. The stranger's voice echoed in his mind, a puzzle waiting to be solved. I know where she is, but you need to meet me. The rest of the conversation flashed through him like a lightning bolt, illuminating a dark corner of his world. Taking a deep breath, he weighed his options. Should he go? Each beat of his heart felt heavy with anxiety. The thought of leaving the safety of Maplewood made him want to retreat into his blanket fort where everything felt warm and secure. But the need for answers outweighed his fear. His mother's love, the warmth of her embrace, was still fresh in his thoughts. It provided the strength he needed to push forward. The following day, the sun was masked by ominous clouds. As Noah approached the meeting place, a coffee shop bustling with people, his stomach twisted in knots. He entered, heart hammering, scanning the faces of strangers. There, at a rear table, he spotted a man with a rugged face and kind eyes. Are you Noah? The stranger asked, his voice low and inviting, as if trying to ease the weight of the moment. Noah nodded, unsure of how to respond. Do you know where my mom is? The man beckoned him to sit. I do. But it's complicated. His gaze softened. Your mother did a lot for this town, more than many realize. But she needed to leave. Leave. Noah's voice shook. What do you mean? The man took a sip of his coffee, choosing his words carefully. Emily was overwhelmed. She loved you more than anything. But there were burdens she carried, secrets she hid. I think she wanted you to be safe, away from her struggles. Noah's heart sank. Each word felt like a blow. What burdens? He could hardly breathe. The man leaned in closer, his eyes searching Noah's. Emily was helping veterans. She used her savings to create art programs for them. But someone threatened her for it. That's why she's gone. Noah's breath caught in his throat. All those months of love, laughter, and now, hidden struggles. But why didn't she tell me? Why vanish? His voice cracked, and he clenched his fists tightly. The weight of anger and betrayal pressed down hard. She did everything for me. Why would she leave? Because she was scared, the man replied gently. Scared for you. A shudder swept through Noah. The image of his mom faded into a memory, but he had glimpsed the truth under the surface. Torn between anger and understanding, he took a leap of faith. What do I do now? Help her, the man encouraged. Find out the rest. If you love her, you'll search for her truth. With newfound determination, Noah stood up, eyes filling with tears but resolute. He would dig deeper into his mother's secret life, thread by thread. Each unraveling discovery could lead him closer to her. Could lead him home. As he turned to leave, the man called after him, and remember, sometimes the biggest hearts hide the deeper secrets. Noah nodded, knowing that every step forward was an act of love. The weight of his mother's legacy pressed on him, but so did the prospect of uncovering something powerful. Little did he know that the path ahead would test him in ways he never imagined, adding layers to his understanding of family, sacrifice, and the power of truth. What secrets lay just beyond the next corner, veiled by shadows and waiting to be uncovered? Noah stepped outside the coffee shop, the frigid air hitting him like a splash of cold water. He wrapped his arms around himself, feeling a mix of determination and fear. He had just learned that his mother had become a heroic figure in her own right, but all he could think about was the looming question, where was she now? He pulled his phone from his pocket and began searching for any clues. He found an old photo of his mother at an art exhibition, smiling proudly beside a group of veterans. The joy in her eyes told stories he wished he had heard before. He zoomed in on the faces around her, looking for anything, a name, a sign, anything that could lead him to her. That evening, Noah sat at the kitchen table, spreading out the printouts he'd made from his online search. He felt like a detective piecing together a mystery, but every clue tugged at his heart. His friends were busy with their weekend plans, but he cancelled his plans, choosing to pore over the articles he'd found about his mom's art programs. Each time he read about her kindness and impact, he felt a warmth grow inside him. This was the mother he knew, the one who took him for ice cream after school and held him tight when he had nightmares. But where had that warmth gone? He stared at the words, yearning to understand what had driven her into hiding. Suddenly, a name jumped out at him: Marcus Reed, a veteran mentioned in several articles. According to his profile, he was one of the first to sign up for Emily's art program. Noah felt a rush of possibility. Maybe Marcus knew something. He quickly typed Marcus's name into the search bar, hoping for leads. The results told him Marcus was still in Maplewood, volunteering at the local veterans center. The address stared out at him from the computer screen, and just like that, Noah had his destination. He felt a spark of hope. If he could just find Marcus, perhaps he could learn more about his mother's past. Before he knew it, Noah was standing outside the Veterans Center. The outside was surprisingly unassuming, but inside, colorful art hung on the walls, brightening the space. As he walked in, the sound of laughter and chatter warmed the air, easing some of his tension. Noah approached the desk. A kind-looking woman smiled at him. "Can I help you?" "I'm looking for Marcus Reed." "I think he might know my mom," he stammered, his voice wavering slightly. "Marcus? He's in the art room. Just follow that hallway," she gestured kindly. Noah took a deep breath, letting his feet guide him as he walked down the corridor. The wall was decorated with pictures created by veterans, each piece a testament to their journeys, filled with passion, pain, and healing. It struck him just how much his mother had cared, and he felt the weight of that love pushing him forward. Reaching the art room, he peered in to see Marcus surrounded by several veterans, laughing as they painted canvases. He felt an urge to turn back, but instead, he stepped in, swallowing hard. "Excuse me," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Marcus looked up, eyes narrowing at first before he smiled. "Can I help you, kid? Are you Marcus Reed?" Noah asked, unsure if this was the right approach. "That's me," the veteran replied, leaning back in his chair. "You look a bit lost, son." "My name is Noah, Emily's son." The words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of years lost. He watched as Marcus's face turned serious. "Noah," Marcus repeated, his voice softening. "So you're looking for her then?" Noah stepped further into the room, heart racing. "I want to know what happened. Why did she leave?" Marcus gestured for him to sit. "It's a long story, but it's worth hearing." As Noah sat down, he sensed the turning tide of fate. Would this veteran help untangle the web of secrets that surrounded his mother's life and disappearance? With every word they exchanged, the world felt as if it might tip on its axis, revealing truths that could change everything. Noah sat on the edge of a chair, his pulse quickening as he waited for Marcus to gather his thoughts. The air in the room felt charged with something, maybe nostalgia, perhaps regret. He sensed that whatever Marcus was about to say could unlock mysteries that had lingered in his mind for far too long. "Your mother was a force of nature," Marcus began, his voice calm but filled with emotion. "She had this rare ability to see the beauty in the most broken souls. She didn't just teach art, she taught hope." Noah leaned in, hanging on to each word. He could feel the pieces of his mother's life slowly coming together, yet it also filled him with a sense of longing. He wanted to know everything. "There was this one veteran, Jake," Marcus continued, a distant look in his eyes. "He had seen things that could crush the hardest of hearts. Emily had him paint those experiences, and through it, he found a way to express his pain. It changed him." "How did it change her?" Noah asked, trying to connect those moments to his mother. "Why did she stop? Why isn't she here anymore?" Marcus sighed heavily, a shadow passing across his features. There were demons on both sides. The art was cathartic for the veterans, but for Emily it opened up wounds she had kept hidden. Some of her past it troubled her. And when it all became too much, she thought the best thing to do was to disappear, give herself and everyone around her a chance to heal. Noah felt his heart twist. He had always known that his mother had a past, but he had never imagined it was so heavy. But did she really think leaving was the answer? Did she ever try to come back? That's the thing. She didn't realize how many lives she touched. I don't think she ever understood the impact she had. Some folks here still talk about her like she is a saint. But that kind of pressure. Marcus shook his head, as if trying to shake off old memories. It overwhelmed her. The revelation sat heavily in the air, thick with unaddressed emotions. Noah clenched his fists under the table. But I need to find her. I need her to know that I want her back. Can you help me? Marcus's expression softened, a mix of admiration and sorrow. It won't be easy. She is likely hiding for a reason. You have to understand that confronting her might open old wounds you're not ready for. No, Noah interjected, more forcefully than he intended. I can't let fear push me away. I've spent enough time in the shadows of her absence. I want to bring her back to the light. Marcus nodded, respect glinting in his eyes. Then you'll need to gather stories from the veterans. They hold pieces of her that might help you find her journey, her pain, and maybe even her resolve. Hope flickered within Noah, illuminating a path forward. Will you help me connect with them? I can do this. I need to do this. Let us start with Jake. He might have more insight than anyone else. Marcus pushed up from his seat, determination settling onto his shoulders. But I warn you, the road ahead will be painful. Are you ready for that? No pain, no gain, Noah said, forcing a smile through his growing anxiety. His journey was just beginning, and with each truth he'd unveiled, he could feel the warmth of connection sparking. But in that moment of lightness, a knot of fear twisted inside him. What if the next step led to discovering something darker? As they walked out of the art room, Noah's heart battled against uncertainty. Would the next conversation bring him closer to his mother or shatter the image he had cherished for so long? With every step, the weight of his quest loomed larger, urging him forward into the unknown. Whatever awaited him, he was ready to face it head-on. Yet the question lingered, would some secrets be better left buried? The sunlight poured into the cafe as Noah followed Marcus down the narrow alleyway. The clatter of dishes and the hum of conversation floated in the air, but Noah hardly registered any of it. He was on a mission, and each step felt like walking through a fog of emotions. Jake usually sits at the back by the window, Marcus said, leading the way. They pushed through the door, the bell jingling above them. Noah's heart raced. What wisdom did this veteran hold? Would he offer a piece of the puzzle that was his mother's life? Noah glanced around, his eyes landing on a frail figure in a slightly worn leather jacket, sketching something on a napkin. A sprinkle of grey peeked through Jake's dark hair, and deep lines etched his face, telling stories of battles fought both in war and in life. Jake, Marcus called gently, approaching him. The veteran looked up, confusion briefly flickering in his eyes before recognition washed over his face. Marcus. Thought I'd seen everything in this town, but I didn't expect to see you again. His voice was gruff but warm. Noah is here to talk about Emily. The way Marcus said her name made it glide effortlessly through the air, painted with affection. Jake's expression shifted, a shadow passing over his features. Emily, she was something special, he murmured, his gaze drifting away as if recalling memories from a distant shore. Noah swallowed hard, the anticipation thickening in his throat. I'm hoping you can help me understand her better. I need to know why she left. Jake nodded, understanding cutting through his initial hesitation. She saved me in ways I can't describe. Lost in a maze of PTSD, I stumbled into her art class, it was like stepping into light. What do you mean? Noah pressed, his voice barely above a whisper. There was this moment, she had this way of inviting you to paint your fears. She taught us that art can be an anchor. Jake's eyes sparkled with a bittersweet nostalgia. But the truth? It wasn't he just teaching. She was fighting her own storms. Noah felt the ground shift beneath him. What did she fight against? Demons from her past. She had her own painful journey, a family that didn't understand, hurts that felt insurmountable. Jake sighed, clearly struggling. One day, she just vanished. The pain got too loud, I suppose. Noah's heart raced. What do you mean her pain was too loud? Did she say anything before she left? Jake's gaze hardened. She felt more than most. It was like every sorrow from every soldier she helped weighed on her. She was a healing balm for the broken, but she never allowed anyone to heal her. The words cut through Noah. The thought of his mother carrying the weight of others when she herself was breaking was unbearable. But didn't she care about us? About me? Sometimes, people believe they're doing others a favor by leaving. She thought she was setting you free, Jake said, his voice thick with emotion. But she never saw the light she brought into your life. Noah clenched his fists, frustration bubbling within him. She didn't have to disappear to help. She could have trusted me. I would have helped her. Jake's eyes softened, reflecting Noah's pain. Trust is hard for some. It's a battle in itself. But your determination is impressive. Can you help me find her? Do you know where she might be? Noah asked, a desperate urgency sharpening his tone. Jake hesitated, then nodded slightly. There are places she felt safe, places where she found solace when the world became too heavy. The old barn by the river she painted there often. Hope flared inside Noah, brightening the shadows of fear. Thank you. As they exchanged goodbyes, a newfound sense of purpose surged through Noah. He had a lead, a clue that might bring him closer to his mother. But as he stepped outside into the bright afternoon, another question loomed over him: if he found her, would she be the same woman he longed to embrace? And was he truly ready to face the truth behind her disappearance, or was he stepping into the depths of a hurt he wasn't prepared to uncover? The thought sent a shiver down his spine. Noah's journey was far from over. He could feel the impending storm gathering ahead, and this was just the beginning. Noah's heart thudded in his chest as he walked away from the cafe, a mixture of hope and dread fueling his steps. The old barn by the river was more than just a destination, it was a symbol of his mother's hidden world. He could already picture her there, brush in hand, lost in colors and shadows. Would he find remnants of her creativity or the echoes of her pain? His mind raced as he navigated the winding road toward the river. Each tight turn felt like it pulled at his resolve. He thought of Jake's words, his mother, a light in others' lives, yet here he was, left in the dark, groping for answers. When he finally reached the barn, it stood just as Jake described. Weathered wood and sagging beams painted a picture of neglect, but there was beauty in that decay. Wildflowers swayed tentatively in the warm breeze, sprouting around the entrance like little guardians. Noah stepped inside, his pulse quickening. Dust motes danced in the sunlight filtering through the cracks. The air smelled of long-forgotten memories, paint, and oil, mixing with something deeper, lost dreams. His eyes scanned the dim interior, searching for a sign of her. In the back corner, stacked canvases leaned precariously against the wall, some draped in old, torn cloth. Heart racing, he approached them, brushing his fingertips along the surface. Each one told a story he yearned to understand. Some were vibrant landscapes, bursting with color, others were darker, laden with emotion. As he examined a canvas splashed with blues and grays, he felt an overwhelming swirl of emotions. It wasn't just paint, it was a piece of her soul laid bare. The strokes felt familiar, as if they were whispers revealing her battles. Suddenly, something caught his eye. A small wooden box, half hidden under an old top. With a mixture of excitement and apprehension, Noah pulled it free, his breath shallow. His heart pounded as he opened the lid, revealing a collection of letters, sketches, and photographs, the treasures of her life that hinted at her journey. One letter, yellowed with age, bore a familiar name at the top. His fingers trembled as he unfolded it, revealing a delicate script. "Dear Emily, you never cease to amaze me. Your strength and creativity inspire us all." It was from one of her students, someone she had helped. Tears pricked at Noah's eyes, a reminder of what she meant to others, and a vivid embodiment of her impact. Nestled beneath the letters, a sketch caught his eye, rough lines capturing a solitary figure sitting beside a river, her expression both serene and haunted. "It looked just like her." "Mom," he whispered, the word barely audible in the stillness. He felt a powerful ache in his chest. How had she painted the truth of her heart and yet kept it hidden from him? Checking another corner of the box, he discovered a folded map. With trembling hands, he opened it, revealing marks indicating various locations along the river. It was a pathway of memories, perhaps places she had gone to escape or to find peace. But as he traced the lines, a nagging question gripped him: was she still traveling that path? Hope warred with fear inside him. He had pieces of her life in his hands, yet the biggest question remained unanswered. Could he reach her before it was too late? What if she was chasing shadows, just like the ones in her paintings? Noah stepped outside, saturated with emotions. The sun was setting, bathing the landscape in golden hues, but all he could see were the storm clouds gathering in his mind, reflections of his own doubts about whether he was ready for the truth ahead. As he stood there, one decision crystallized in his thoughts. He would follow the map, but not just for her. This journey was about understanding, healing, and confronting the legacy of pain and love she left behind. What he didn't realize was that the more he learned, the closer he would come to uncovering a secret that would change everything. With determination igniting his steps, Noah took a deep breath and set down the path marked by life unraveling before him. Would he find the mother he remembered, or would the truth reveal a woman he barely recognized? The answer awaited him just around the bend. Noah walked along the riverbank, the soft rush of water complementing the rhythm of his thoughts. Each step felt heavy, burdened by the weight of discovery. He clutched the map tightly, glancing at the marks she had made. His breath hitched in his throat. Her paths were not just locations, they were fragments of her life, shards of memories he had yet to understand. The first marked spot was just a few yards ahead. It seemed innocent enough, a cluster of trees that bloomed wildly, casting playful shadows on the ground. But there was something about it that felt significant. He could almost hear her laughter echoing through the leaves. As he stepped closer, something glimmered beneath a fallen branch. Noah bent down, heart racing, and pulled out a small, silver charmer heart. It was delicate, intricately designed, and he recognized it immediately as one of his mother's favorite pieces. She always wore it when she wanted to feel brave. Mom, the name came out as a breath, filling him with a strange comfort. He felt connected to her in that moment, as if she were beside him, guiding him. He continued, following the trail of landmarks that hinted at her memories. Each stop revealed pieces of her journey, a weathered journal tucked beneath a stone, pages filled with thoughts that flowed like water, raw and beautiful. A half-buried paintbrush, its bristles still full of color, spoke to her creative spirit and the joy it once brought her. Yet, with every treasure uncovered, unease crept in. What pain had driven her to seek solace in these hidden places? What had she hidden from him? Each revelation felt like peeling back layers of a story that was as beautiful as it was tragic. Noah reached the next marked spot, a small clearing where the sun spilled like gold, illuminating a canvas nestled against a mossy stone. It was covered with a thin layer of dust, but the colors beneath shone vividly. His mother had painted here, no doubt. He could almost see her, a figure lost in the act of creation, entirely in her element. He knelt, clearing the debris to reveal her work. The painting portrayed the river winding through hills that seemed to vibrate with life, but there was a shadow cast over it, a dark figure off to the side. It made his stomach twist. Was it a reflection of her own struggles? No, he whispered, tears blurring his vision. How could she encapsulate such truth? She painted her battles yet managed to shield him from them. Noah took a deep breath, frustration boiling over alongside his grief. The river wasn't just a backdrop, it was a lifeline. She had felt things deeply and chosen to express them through art while leaving a darker side hidden from him. Suddenly, a movement in the corner of his eye made his heart race again. A small bird flitted through the trees, and for a fleeting moment, he thought he saw her, a shadow that vanished just as quickly. Was he chasing ghosts? Gathering himself, he decided to push on. He wouldn't shy away from the truth, no matter how painful. He wanted to hear her voice through each brush stroke, to feel her spirit in the air, and discover the woman behind the canvas. He had spent years in the dark, but now he was determined to shed light on her past, no matter how tangled it was. Noah realized that every step he took was not just about his mother, it was about him too. Each discovery hurt, but it also healed. He clutched the map, feeling a pulse of resolve surge within. There was one more mark to explore, a spot that looked like it drove deeper into the heart of the forest. It was time to face whatever truth awaited him there. What awaited him? Was it another piece of art or a deeper revelation that would shake the foundation of everything he thought he knew? As he headed toward the final destination, his heart raced, each beat echoing his longing for answers. Noah plunged deeper into the forest, each step weighted with anticipation and dread. The sunlight flickered above him, filtering through a canopy of leaves, creating patches of warmth that both comforted and mocked his uncertainty. He could still feel the cool touch of the heart charm in his pocket, a tangible reminder of her love and strength. As he reached the next mark on the map, a clearing opened up before him, a stark contrast to the dense woods around. Here, the air felt different, charged with a strange energy. Noah's heart pounded, he sensed that something significant lay ahead. In the center of the clearing stood a large, gnarled tree, its trunk twisted like an ancient storyteller. Its roots stretched deep into the earth, grounding the life it supported. At the base was a low stone wall, overgrown with moss, about the height of his knees. Something about this spot resonated deeply within him. He approached, curiosity driving him forward. As he knelt down to examine the stones, his fingers brushed against something smooth and cold. Heart racing, he unearthed a small wooden box, weathered but surprisingly intact. It felt familiar, yet he couldn't recall having seen it before. With trembling hands, Noah opened the box. Inside lay a collection of small trinkets, each one unique and placed carefully within the velvet lining. There was a tiny porcelain bird, a pair of delicate earrings, and a letter sealed with a faded ribbon, its edges worn and frayed. His breath caught in his throat as he stared at the letter. This was her voice, frozen in time, begging to be heard. He pulled it out gingerly, unfolding the fragile paper. The handwriting was familiar yet foreign, the loops and swirls evoking memories long buried. To my beloved son, the letter began. Each word felt like a thread pulling him closer to her. She had poured herself into this message, and he could hear her warmth with every line. I've hidden pieces of myself in these little treasures. They hold my hope, my love, my fears. Each item is a chapter of my story, a way for you to understand the woman who chose to keep parts of her life hidden from you. I want you to know that it's okay to look beyond the surface. Noah's heart sank as he read on, her words revealing a life cloaked in secrets and shadows. She spoke of dreams that never came to light, of moments when she felt unworthy of happiness, and the joy she found in creating art when the darkness loomed too heavy. He saw himself in her words, understood the battle she fought, and marveled at her courage. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he read about her love for him, a love that never wavered, even when she felt lost. You are my light, she wrote. Promise me you will chase after understanding, even if it hurts. Life is full of colors and shadows, don't shy away from either. He placed the letter back in the box and held it close, feeling as if he had just held her hand for the first time in years. The thrill of connection surged within him, yet the weight of regret still pressed on his chest. Noah looked around at the clearing, searching for signs, for further revelations. This place held her spirit. It was an oasis where she found solace. But what had led her to choose this as her secret sanctuary? What pain made her feel like she had to carry so much alone? With each question, he felt more determined. He needed to know more. Things were starting to become clearer, yet the shadows still lingered. What else did she leave behind? Was there more to uncover, or would he finally discover the truth that had haunted both of their lives? He took a deep breath, the cool air filling his lungs, and felt ready to continue his journey. As he moved forward, a rustle in the bushes made him pause. He narrowed his eyes, sensing that he was not alone after all. Noah stiffened, his pulse racing. The rustling came again, louder this time, as if whatever was hidden among the branches was just as curious about him. A mix of fear and excitement coursed through him. He felt a strange urge to take a step back and a strong pull to stay. He squinted into the dense foliage, heart pounding in his chest like a drum signaling a storm. "Hello," he called out cautiously, his voice breaking the stillness of the clearing. Silence settled for just a moment before a small fox poked its head through the shrubs, its big eyes shimmering with curiosity. Noah let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding and chuckled softly. It wasn't a spirit or the manifestation of his mother's pain, just a little creature navigating its own world. The fox stepped into the clearing, nose twitching as it sniffed the air. Noah marveled at how something so small could exist in a place so full of secrets. It felt like a sign. Maybe this little animal had its own hidden stories, just like his mother. As he remained crouched by the box, the fox circled him cautiously, as if sensing the weight of the moment. "Are you lost too?" Noah asked softly, feeling a weird kinship with the creature. The fox perked up, giving a small yip, and he chuckled again, the sound blending with the gentle rustle of leaves. Distracted for a moment, he began playing with the trinkets in the box again. The tiny porcelain bird caught his attention. It was something delicate, similar to the way he felt when confronting the truth about his mother. "What do you represent?" he wondered aloud. Just then, the fox turned its gaze from him to the tree, its ears standing at attention. Noah followed its line of sight and noticed something glimmering low on one of the tree's gnarled branches. A small piece of glass caught the sunlight, reflecting colors that danced in the air. Curiosity reignited in him. It was as if the universe was nudging him toward the next piece of the puzzle. Noah stood up slowly and approached the aged tree. Each step felt deliberate, tethered to an unseen connection with his past. The fox remained by his side, still and watchful. He reached up, stretching his arm, and touched the smooth glass. It was the shape of a heart, vibrant as a memory. As he pulled it free from the branch, he noticed it was attached to a small leather pouch hanging nearby. His heart raced with anticipation. What had his mother meant by not shying away from shadows? With cautious excitement, he opened the pouch to find a collection of old photographs. He brought them close to his chest, pictures of his mother, young and radiant, and a man who looked so much like him. A chill ran down his spine. This was a man he had never known, yet there he was, caught in moments of laughter, joy, and love, a stranger who filled a void he had always sensed but never understood. The fox moved closer, nuzzling against his leg, grounding him. "I see you," he whispered, staring down at the images. Each face brought layers of his mother's story to life, shedding light on her secret struggles and simplest joys. His fingers trembled as he turned the photos over, each one meticulously labeled with dates and places. Memories encoded in ink now became a map, leading him toward the heart of the truth he'd been searching for. Who is this man? No matter the answer, he knew this journey was now not just about understanding his mother, but also discovering himself. A flicker of hope ignited within him. Perhaps he could finally confront the shadow looming over their lives. Taking one more glance at the clearing, he felt a shift within. He was no longer just tracing her steps. He was stepping into the light of the legacy she had crafted through the shadows. Could the truth finally be within reach? He asked himself, the weight of the photographs heavy in his hands. He felt the pressure building as he prepared to uncover the next chapter of her life and his own. But deep inside, a question lingered: would coming to terms with the past help him embrace the future he longed for? As he turned back to the tree and the gentle fox beside him, he readied himself for whatever was waiting in the branches ahead. Noah stood at the base of the gnarled tree, the photographs clutched tightly in his hands. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the ground, mirroring the uncertainty swirling in his heart. The little fox by his side seemed to sense his trepidation, shifting closer, a silent guardian in the face of the unknown. Taking a deep breath, he started to carefully examine the photographs one by one. A younger version of his mother smiled in each, her joy evident yet mixed with something unspoken. The man in the pictures brought a sense of familiarity, yet total confusion. Each glance at his face stirred an ache in Noah, a feeling that he was closer to a truth that had long eluded him. The last photograph held the key. It depicted a family gathering, laughter dancing in the air, his mother standing beside the man, their faces lit with joy. Noah felt a jolt when he read the handwritten note on the back, "With the love of my life, Michael." Michael, he whispered the name, the weight of it crashing over him like waves on a shore. This was his father. The man who seemed to haunt his family's unspoken history. Questions welled up within him. Why had his mother left him in the dark? Why had she never talked about him? His heart raced as emotions surged, the thrill of connection bursting forth from the shadows of confusion. Could the secrets woven into his mother's past finally unravel before him? Pursuing the path his mother once traveled, he looked back at the clearing where memories lingered and pain transformed into art. The pieces of her story were revealing themselves, and with each revelation, he felt the weight of her burdens lifting inch by inch. "Mom," he whispered, half a plea, half a prayer. His fingers brushed the heart charm in his pocket. The comfort of her presence remained with him, guiding him forward. Dismissing the lingering doubts, Noah set forth with clear intent. The photographs offered coordinates to follow, leading him to those who could share stories of his father, tales that could expand the silhouette of the man he had never known. With resolve pouring through his veins, Noah noted the last marked location on the map, a small cafe in town where his father used to bring his mother. The sense of urgency propelled him. He was determined to pursue this truth, to find his mother, and perhaps even heal the deep-rooted fissures of their past. As he stepped out of the clearing, the sun dipped below the horizon, the world imbuing the trees with a soft glow, cradling him in a blanket of warmth. The path felt familiar yet new, a route shaped by every step taken before him and yet undiscovered. In that moment, the fox darted ahead, pausing to glance back, as if inviting him to follow to chase the healing light ahead. Noah quickened his pace, hoping the cafe would bring him closer not only to his father's face but perhaps to finding his mother as well. Upon entering the cafe, the cozy atmosphere washed over him, memories of his mother's laughter mixing with the aroma of brewed coffee lingering in the air. Noah looked around, his heart racing. Would someone here hold the key to understanding the family he was on the verge of uncovering? He approached the counter and smiled at the barista, a woman with kind eyes who seemed familiar with every soul in the room. "Excuse me, I'm looking for information about Michael Carter. I think he used to come here a lot." The barista's expression shifted to one of recognition as she studied him closely. "Michael. You must be Emily's son," she replied softly. "He was here often." As if flipping a switch, she locked eyes with him, her gaze bright with wistfulness. He loved her, they brought out the best in each other. But it was a complicated love. A lot of pain on both sides. Noah felt a rush of adrenaline. "I need to hear everything you know," he said, barely containing his urgency. "Please." With a gentle nod, the barista gestured for him to follow her to a quiet table in the corner, surrounding them with whispers of others in the cafe, who unknowingly became the backdrop of his journey toward healing. "I'll tell you what I can," she began, her voice low, laced with empathy. "But I want you to understand that love is never simple, sometimes it hides within the shadows. Your mother's strength was her love for you and Michael, but it also drew out her vulnerabilities, her fears." Noah nodded, taking in her words. They crafted a safety net of understanding, a bridge connecting him to truths that might reassure his heart. As she began to share stories of his parents' love forged in creativity yet marred by past wounds, a sense of hope flickered. Was this the transformation he longed for? As each revelation surfaced, he felt more rooted, unraveling the complexities of their lives and finding a path toward his mother that offered connection rather than fear. Each shared memory illuminated his journey, revealing the legacy of love woven intricately into their lives. With each story, he felt his heart swell and pain dissipate, breathing life into the wounds that had long festooned his family's history. "I want to find her," he exclaimed at last, resolution settling into his bones. "Do you know where she might be?" Her eyes sparkled warmly. "She often found peace near the old barn by the river. If anyone knows how to reach her, it's the veterans she poured her heart into. But the journey you're on, it's all part of her legacy now. Discovering who you are is perhaps the most important piece." Noah felt a swell of gratitude, a sense of understanding that transcended fear. His mother had walked a path rich in art and hidden pain, but now it was his turn to carve his way through the intricate tapestry they shared. "We can do this," he whispered to himself, determination flooding through him. Each step forward embodied not only a search for his mother but also a quest to carve out a legacy of his own. As he stood and prepared to leave the cafe, a weight lifted, the sunset painted the doorframe with a soft hue of gold. He knew what lay ahead was the pursuit of both justice for his mother's struggles and the joy of reconnecting with her. With the photographs clasped tightly in one hand and the heart charm in the other, Noah stepped forward, prepared to chase after the truth, to reunite with his past, and ultimately forging a new legacy of light for their future. And as he took that first step into the twilight, the universe seemed to echo with possibility, a reminder that no one should ever have to walk in shadows alone. Now the time has come for you to support the journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it makes all the difference. Comment your reactions and feelings about this emotional ending, your voices matter. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to show your support for powerful stories that resonate.